Hi, it's me, Tim, again. I wanted to make a video separate from my update video because I didn't think it was the right place and time to be talking about this subject, but if you read the title, you know what it is about. Yeah, since I moved out about a month ago, I didn't feel that great for like the past few years, but after every year, it spiraled down and down and down. I eventually tried to get help, but I found out if I seek help from like someone in the business, like a therapist and stuff like that, that turns out to do that just makes me feel worse. So after going there for like 2 months, I quit. I said I can't do it anymore. I just said, like, I feel better. I lied, of course, but if I said just like, I don't think this is helping, they would send me to another thing, and that would never stop. So I said, I feel better. I feel much better. And I managed to completely fool them into thinking that I felt better. And this was, I think, more than a year ago now that I went to seek help. The only thing that always I feel like helped me a little bit at least was my online friends. I could always, talk to Cody, Olivia, or Marius. I hope I correctly pronounce your name, dude. Yeah, I could always talk to them about it, and it would always help. But of course, there's a limit to how much you can help on an online basis. Because I am a person that, I respect my online friends more than I would ever respect anyone I know or have known in real life. That's why my dream for the biggest part was to go visit them, but obviously things like that aren't simple. We all have different things that we do in life, and money is another issue, and we live pretty far from each other. And planning that all out, we do eventually plan on it. At least me, Glide, and Olivia plan to meet each other at one point. Definitely Cody and Olivia plan to meet each other. But yes, I don't know if I qualify to say that I have depression, but I feel like I do, because I feel like shit every day, and sometimes I just feel very bad that I don't want to wake up. Sometimes I can barely sleep. I can't really talk about this with anything. I've tried talking with family members about this shit. They just keep quiet. They don't know how to respond to my feelings. So there's that. And I have great neighbors here, but I barely know them, and talking to them about my issues seems a bit wild, so I'm not gonna go for that shit. I don't wanna blame, or like, I don't want to put like a whole huge load on people that in general, I don't want to put a load of my thoughts or my problems on other people. I feel like I always keep to myself a bit, and sometimes that's a bit too much. I know if I post this video, Glide's probably gonna Marius is probably gonna come to me like, oh dude, you can tell me anything, dude, what's the problem? I've already told him all the issues that I face with, and those are literally all it's about. It's not really an issue of me talking about it again, because honestly, I don't really want to talk about it. I just don't want to talk about it because I've already talked about it with you. Just how life, is as an adult. Me adulting, it never really worked out because I still behave just like I did when I was 15, and that has severely not progressed. It has progressed with certain things, because obviously you have to mature in some aspects. pay the bills, know what attitude is correct in what situation and stuff like that. But online, or to my friends, I'm just that 15-year-old dude again, even though I'm 23. Yeah, I think that's cool, but you know, sometimes I behave online like I wouldn't really want to behave. Like sometimes I'm kind of a prick, and I know they know I don't mean it like that way. And I mean, I've treated them worse. When I was dating someone and they completely controlled me, that's when I was probably at my lowest in terms of like how badly I treated my friends. And I almost actually completely lost contact with all my friends back then. And I feel like at that point I realized that I really treasure my friends. And I think that eventual, like me putting my friends first, finally opened my way to break off that relationship, and I managed to become good friends with him over time. I feel like me and Cody was obviously, I feel like he didn't really seem that great at first to me anymore, because I think he felt backstabbed. And I felt terrible for months for, you know, treating my friends like that. And I think when I realized that I almost fucking threw away my only real life online friends, but I see them just like real life friends. I felt like complete and utter shit for months. I didn't say anything. And I know it's all good now. I especially realized that Cody is back to his old self, but it's also just because I obviously he is also dealing with shit on his end, and I think it's just a combination of everything. I'm trying not to cry. I'm also trying to deepen my voice to hide any insecurity. It's hard being honest online, especially since I've lost the drive to create anything for the past year. Actually, I've lost the drive to create anything, do anything with my life for the past few years. Back in the beginning, I really just felt like creating, but I think I already talked about it in my other video. I don't want to talk about the creative side of anything in this video. I think I already delved deep enough with that shit in the other video. This is more about my personal life. Since I live on my own now, I've realized truly how alone I am. And I feel like a lot of people face with this issue. Not everyone has family to back them up. I know I have my dad, but he's just one dude. He can't do everything either, and my mom sometimes helps me, but I feel like my mom is just helping me because she can use that as a thing, like, I helped you that day, you have to help me for this, just in case things go south for her, because I know she's in a situation where she could potentially end up on the street, but is probably gonna use all the things that she did for me as a guilt trip to live with me when things go south. And I've already completely thought out that that's not gonna happen, because when my dad had a heart attack and he survived, my mom said, if he ever dies of a heart attack, you're not coming to live with me. You're not, and she said that in the most friendly way somehow. But I sincerely did not take that well. It's a wonder that I'm still in contact with my mom, but I have this mindset of, you know, she's my mom. I may not like her, and she may just choose me and prefer my sisters. But that's just how it is. That's just how it always has been. I'm not the favorite. I was always the most difficult child. In terms of like, I was the only one with a true, I'd say, disability. For those that aren't aware, and I don't like to boast about this because I just want to be treated like any normal guy. I am highly functioning. I'm just not very intelligent, and I have very limited things that I can do, like in terms of like work, jobs, because I like the intelligence for it. I like the schooling of it because my mom was very smart enough, and I mean that sarcastically, to put me on a special school, which is the place where I got bullied. I would probably get more bullied on that special school than if I were to go on a normal school. I know bullying always happens, but in this school, it was fucking tragic. I didn't really get any friends. I got acquaintances, I would say. None of them really went to my house or anything like that. And even if they would, I would be too discouraged. I would not want them to see the place that I was living at. Because I lived with my dad for so long and he has dogs, he doesn't really take good care of his house. And that in combination with having dogs that he does take good care of, but you know, they're not easy dogs. The house eventually just stank and everything, even though he tried cleaning it and everything, but the stank just doesn't go away. And I just didn't want anyone to see that. I just didn't want to see that everyone else would be able to see where I live. I would think, if they see this, they're gonna leave me anyway. So for years that I lived with my dad, I was always very limited. And then eventually, of course, school stops. I went to try on a job. It wasn't really a job that you get paid for because I didn't have a diploma. I thought you could just work if, you know, you got sent somewhere. Because school does not teach you at all how it works in the real world. It doesn't teach you how to get a job. At least my schools never did that. And so I worked myself to the bone, and eventually that left me to almost collapsing. To which I was sent home, so I still had to manually get back home on my own on my bicycle. I had to cycle for like almost 2 hours to go back home. And I told my dad what happened. And that led me to staying at home for years. I stayed home for 3 years. I of course quit that job instantly because I knew that that job would not fit me. My body was physically too weak to do it. If I had to do that shit. My body was significantly more weaker than it is now, even though I'm still weak. And that led me to just have like a welfare. I mean, I already had a welfare, of course, because I worked for a welfare, but it led to me having a welfare, but not working for it. And that led me again to going to the place where I had internship when I went to school there. So I was able to work there for my welfare for about a year, and then your contract stops. So even then, it just doesn't continue. So I had no place to go, and so I was home again for a few years. And I mean, of course, during I think before I even left school, I met Cody because I was 17 at the time and 23 now. So one of the people I know a lot. He's one of the first people that have stayed with me, and I'm very thankful for that. I know I don't show it. But yeah, that led me to just stay at home. And people say it's supposed to feel amazing when you're like, you finally get to be home, no school, no work. You can do what you want. And of course, of that time, I took advantage, and I just, I was like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I'm just gonna make money that way. Obviously, that's not gonna work. Life's not that easy, and definitely not that forgiving. So I did my best. I was very awkward because I was still living with my dad, and I'm not very comfortable speaking English near Dutch people because I feel like they'll judge me. I have severe anxiety about it. So that led to me just putting on a weird voice, and I still do it to this day because I have spoken it for so many years that I haven't really gotten to speak in my natural voice like I would speak in Dutch, because I use my voice completely different with Dutch, like my tone and stuff, and I keep my voice very, very deep and low, at least as low as I can do with my voice. With English, because I don't know, that's probably just an anxiety thing kicking in. And then, I got help in the house, like they would teach me finally how to, do all my tasks, how you live normal life, because obviously school wasn't gonna teach me. I needed someone to teach me how to do everything, because I guess I was very privileged. I never really needed to do the dishes and stuff in the beginning, until my dad's girlfriend said, you need to do some dishes and, learn how it all works. And because you have to do dishes when you live on yourself too. And she really managed to, kick it up a notch for me and make me just switch my life up. And because of that, I can live alone now, and I live alone now. Paperwork was fairly easy to understand because I live in the digital age. Yeah, and then I never really got to find another job or another internship or paid. Not internship. Never got to really. I tried to go to school again, and that made me realize how severely bad my education was, because no matter where I apply for, my intelligence is too low. And I can't see myself going to school anymore. I feel like that's just not gonna happen. I'm never gonna be able to see people of my own age anymore, because if I go to find a workplace where I can work for my welfare, it's gonna be something I don't enjoy, something I can't even do long term, and it's definitely not gonna have any person of my age, because everyone my age is studying in college or has a job, and I'm just sitting here. I feel like I'm kind of just wasting my life away. And I feel like I've hit rock bottom, if I can say it that way. I keep on paying for things to motivate me, to spark some interest in anything at all anymore. I try to drown myself in video games, in anime especially. Things for my house. I keep my mindset to that so that I can live another day. Or listen to music so loud that I can't hear my thoughts. Yeah, life sucks for me. I know it's not the worst out there, and some people have it way worse, because some people live on the street. Or some people can't even do anything. Less than I can, and I don't even think I do anything at all. I just wanted to tell that I feel empty. The slightest bit of emotion I can even sense is sadness. Genuine happiness I have not found in my life in the last couple of years. It's hard to say that, but it's the truth. Before anyone watches this video, or like, if some of my friends are watching this video for some odd reason, I think the only person that's probably gonna look at this video is Marius. I don't want you to talk about this to me in Discord, because you already knew about all these thoughts. I told you about this. I just feel like if I put it in a vlog or whatever, or a audio blog, that I could try to, you know, tell my subscribers why I haven't really done anything. And maybe they will get a better understanding of how I feel. And how adulthood can really try to fuck you up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Or hearing, I guess. Bye.